Want to welcome you in here to the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy, the gymnasium here at WLA. And it's the first sporting event of 2021-2022 here on WLA TV. Glad to have you along, and it's WLA Volleyball. Hosting the Omro Foxes should be a good one this evening. WLA comes into the year on the back of an up-and-down alternate fall season in the spring, one where the Vikings went 5-7 on the year, but won 4 of their final 6 matches. Their only couple of losses down the stretch coming to state placers, St. Mary's Springs Academy. The Vikings also said goodbye, though, to a sizable senior class, 8 total in the spring, losing players like honorable mention all-conference player Elena Supernan, first-team all-conference middle Kaylee Fry, Geneva Hewitt, setter Mary Zunker, Sabrina Bernhard, and several others. So the Vikings will be a relatively young team this season. One key returner for WLA is sophomore Milena Dins. She started as a freshman in the spring and was an honorable mention pick in the Flyway Conference. Vikes, though, without Dins tonight, she's missing through injury. A couple of Vikes starters missing this game tonight for various reasons. So far on the year, though, the Vikings are 3-3 through the first part of the non-con season. They open Flyway play tonight against the Omro Foxes. Omro played in the fall last year, so did not play against WLA in the spring. The Foxes finished the fall with a 1-10 record. Well, it's finally time to play, and it's Flyway play tonight for the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings and the Omro Foxes. That's coming up in just a few minutes on WLA TV. We'll be back with the national anthem shortly. I'm Jordan King. You're watching and listening to WLA Vikings Athletics right here on WLA TV. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Flyway Conference matchup between the Omro Foxes and the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. Now, to honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask that those who are able to stand, remove your hats and place your hand over your heart for the singing of our national anthem, performed by WLA's sophomore, Adeline Kemnitz. The WIA requires good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, spectators, and education-based interscholastic events. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or ethnic comments, or other intimidating or taunting actions or chants will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please enjoy the competition in a positive manner. Now for your starting lineups, first for the visiting Foxes. Number 7, Ava Statura. Number 8, Alessandro Villalobos. Number 10, Tabitha Kilgus. Number 13, Jalen Stadler. Number 14, Adrian Malnori. Number 15, Ella Willison. The Foxes libero is number 2, Anna Federer. The Foxes are coached by Bryce Coughlin and assisted by Alana Dalton. And now your starting lineup for your Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. Number 11, Amber Johnson. Number 12, Peyton Hamlet. Number 13, Sherry Christie. Number 14, Michaela Terry. Number 15, Natalie Bell. Number 16, Lindsay Nell. The Vikings libero is number 17, Kara Shea. Vikings are coached by Jamie Renner and assisted by Anne Steffen. The referees for tonight's game are Corey Roberger and John Butchflick. Line judges are Harvey Kentop and Greg Inger.
Well, I'd like to welcome you back in here to the gymnasium at Winnebago Lutheran Academy. The opening game for both of these teams in flyway play. Omro hasn't played a match yet this fall after a 1-10 fall last season. Vikings 3-3 on the season, all non-conference games, and getting their flyway action underway tonight. Starters, in case you missed them, for Omro, number 7, Ava Stachira, she's a junior. Another junior, number 8, Alessandra Villalobos. Number 10, senior Tabitha Kilgus. A couple more seniors, number 13, Jalen Stadler, and 14, Adrian Malnori. And then another junior rounding out the starting lineup, number 15, Ella Willison. The libero for Omro is Hannah Federley, number 2. For the Vikings, Avery Supernan, number 4. Number 11, Amber Johnson. Supernan, by the way, a sophomore. Amber Johnson is a junior, number 11. Outside hitter for the Vikings. Starting middle for the Vikes. Number 12, senior Peyton Chemnitz. Number 15, Natalie Belks, a junior. Number 10, Lindsay Nell is a sophomore. Number 16, Nell. And the libero for the Vikings is number 17, Kiera Shea. So the starters for both of these squads, again, first Flyway Conference game, first game overall, at least as WIS Sports has it, for Omro. Elsewhere tonight on the WLA athletics front, soccer down in Lamira. See if I can get a update from the soccer game as the Vikes open conference play. Soccer 0-3 on the season at the varsity level. Losses to Oostburg, West Bend West, and Sheboygan Christian Lutheran. That's a tough slate to start for the Vikings on the soccer front, but certainly always play a tough schedule. Usually the record's a few better than 0-3, but see if they can get on the right track tonight. Just across the way, I see the cross-country team arriving back to WLA in their first race. Girls finished second, boys fifth. That was at KML. Individual top 10 finishes for Ella Borgort and Anna Schwartz, and a top 10 finish on the boys' side for Bennett Midson. Teams race tonight at Valley Christian School. Between sets, we'll see if we can get you an update on how they did and pass that along with you. Talk about football as we go along the night as well. Tomorrow they'll take on North Fondy, 7 p.m. home game. And if we had a huddle camera, we'd bring that to you on WLA TV. But unfortunately, not the case. Siri Kuski is on the floor as well, so it looks like she's going to start. She wasn't announced as a starter, and we'd like to get the libero in, if at all possible. A little miscommunication here, and they'll send Kiera Shea onto the court. So we're all set to play. Took a little longer than maybe you would have thought, but that's all right. Number 13, that's Jalen Stadler, gets us going tonight. Vikings, better serve received this year, it would seem, so far than it was last year. Tipped over, and it'll be a swing for Nell. And Nell gets it going early for the Vikings, her first kill. And nice to see students back in the stands, I'll tell you that much. After a year of COVID, and we know COVID's not completely gone yet, but it rendered home court advantage relatively useless for all sports. And nice to see a filled student section, and certainly for volleyball as well. Can't wait for basketball season, but this should be a fun volleyball team to watch as well. Siri Kuski, perhaps the Vikings' best server, and she served that before I said that, but her first service error of the night. And Shea comes right back in. So early 1-1. On the season, the Vikings serving at an 87% clip, but not a good start tonight. Likewise for Omro, that's not a great start either, as Ava Stachera hooks that one out of play on the near side. So it'll be Amber Johnson to the back row. She'll serve, and the Foxes will get into their offense. If there's going to be an assist, if there's going to be passing for the Vikings, it's going to come from one of their two setters, number 13, Siri Kuski, or number 4, Avery Supernan. Supernan plays all the way around for the Vikings and sets when Kuski is not on the floor. Kuski is the setter, truly, you would say, the starting setter for the Vikings. That swing was from Supernan. Vikings as a team this season hitting at a .083, so a little lower than you would like. See if they can turn that around as they get into flyway play. Here's Kuski looking for Supernan once again. Far side, this one's into the net again, so 0 for 2 start for Supernan. Both of them flying into the net. 3-2 for the Foxes. Back serving for them is their libero, that's Hannah Federley. And back to Kuski, middle, another swing for Lindsay Nell. Thought that was down, it wasn't. Certainly the line judge has a better angle at that one and about 150 feet closer than I am, so we'll trust him. 4-2, good start for the Foxes. Kuski has to try to set it with a pass, underhand set. Chance here as Shea and a free ball coming for the Foxes. To the near side, tipped over there by number 4, that's Grayson Barbian. And the Vikes have yet to get into some real offense here. Kuski forced to pass that one to Shea. Shea up to Supernan, gets a swing at it, but the Foxes deal with it. Set to the far side, and Ella Willison couldn't get it over the net. And Shea will depart once again. Chemnitz back in. Again, the starting middle for the Vikings. As Lindsay now goes back to the service line, trying to put something together as the Foxes went on a 3-0 run. Kuski looks to the far side. Supernan to the middle. Chemnitz tips it over. Dealt with well by the Foxes. Federley and Willison just around the block of Peyton Chemnitz. And a good response for the Foxes. 5-3 early on in this one. Doesn't look like a 1-10 team, certainly. Talking about the Foxes, and didn't get to watch them admittedly last fall, so hard to make any judgments on it. But the Vikes passing a little loose here early on and not allowing them to get any real swings. That's going to be long, it is. From number 10, Tabitha Kilgus. So she can't get that one to fall. And the Vikes back within 1. Kira Shea back on. Also on for the Vikings, number 9, Morgan Keel. Vikes missing 2 starters. Abby Cole, a sophomore, and Melena Dins, a sophomore. Sure would be nice to have them. That's into the net on this near side, and the Vikes tie it up. Didn't look like it went off of the block, but that was Grayson Barbian who hit it into the net. See if Shea can go on a little bit of a run from the service line. That's a nice serve across. Here's Barbian again, into the block that time, and that's down off of Chemnitz. That's terrific for the Vikings, and they retake the lead. That was down. It was, wow. Looked like it was off the block and down. But they're going to say that was out of bounds. Originally, they had called it a tip. It was clearly not tipped. Looked like it still landed in bounds, but that was not the case. That's a set or a serve into the net, and we'll tie things back up. Avery Supernan, her first chance at the service line. The jump serve from Supernan. That's tight to the net. Chemnitz gets up and blocks it. Chance here for Stachura on the near side, off the block and out. Good swing for Ava Stachura, the junior for the Foxes. And Omro retakes the lead as we go back and forth in the first set. Vikings 3-3 on the season. As I said, the Shiocton Triangular was on Tuesday, and they went 1-1 over there and had a 24-21 lead in the third set against Shiocton, but couldn't close it out. They lost 26-24. Here's Supernan at the net, up to Chemnitz. And that's out, just a little bit deep. Just got an update on cross country, and pass that along to you in just a second. That one's a little close to the net, not able to deal with it is Amber Johnson. Supernan couldn't quite get that one out far enough for Johnson to be able to do anything with it. And once again, it's a 3-0 run for Omro. So far, they've gone on a couple of 3-0 runs. The pass, and Chemnitz into the net. There's another error from the Vikings. Passing isn't terrible, but it's just not quite good enough in terms of giving themselves a real opportunity on the offensive end. Here's a swing for Johnson. That's better. I don't think she caught that one as true as maybe she would have liked. I've been told that's called a paintbrush when you don't quite hit it how you intend to. So there you go. I'm going to drop some volleyball knowledge on you. But the Vikings needed that in the worst way. It doesn't matter if it was intended or not. It works for the Vikes. That's blocked by Nell as Stachira hammered that one into the block. Supernand. Nell goes over the block. Dug out well by the Foxes. Stachira another chance. This one's going to be deep. And the Vikes are back within a pair. 10-8. Every time Stachira has gotten a chance at one, she has hammered it, but 1 for 4 thus far. Chemnitz well short on that serve, and another service error for the Vikings. That's 2 of them so far. And if you're going to lose points, make the other team earn it, I think is the sentiment that you want as a volleyball team. That's a back set from Supernand, tipped over by Keel. Stachura, that looked like it was going to be an overpass, didn't actually get there. And a point for the Vikings. Returning for the Vikes, Siri Kuski, and 15, Natalie Belk. Belk is a junior for the Vikings. Kuski also a junior, and she's back to the service line. As I mentioned early on, Kuski by far, well, there's the curse of the commentator. She's one of the best servers on the team. She's an 86.9% server, has served by far the most on the team. And the Vikes usually do pretty well when she's at the service line. Even last season in the spring she did. But she's 0 for 2 tonight. 2 errors. Has not gotten the ball in play from the service line. Here's a swing off the block and down. Another point for Omro. Grayson Barbian has had a couple of swings for the Foxes and finally got one to go there. It's Stachira, passed by Shea. Kuski, middle. Once again, deep from Nell. A couple of times that Kuski set up the middles well, and both Nell and Chemnitz have sent them long. Certainly like the Vikings to settle in here as they're down 5. And Stachira continues to serve. That's a nice one. Passed well. Kuski, middle again. This is better from Lindsay Nell, but dealt with by the Foxes. Tipped by Nell. Back to Nell from Kuski. Over the block. Overpass. See if the Vikes can get a chance here. And I think Kuski was into the net. Yes, she was. And once again, Omro scores. That was a phenomenal recovery there from Hannah Federley. When it looked like all was lost and Nell hammered one over the net, she was able to kind of dig it, overhand dig, and worked out for the Foxes. They lead by 6, 45 seconds. We'll be back. You're watching WLA Athletics. Viking Volleyball on WLA TV. So coming out of the Viking timeout, Ava Stachura still at the service line, looking to continue what is a nice run for the Foxes as they lead by 6, their largest lead of the night. Kuski gets the dig, but it's off of number 14, Adrian Malnori. And it's now 7 for the Foxes. It was a good swing, but Malnori was able to put it down on the Viking side. Another good one from Stachura. Dug out by Supernand and over on a free ball from Natalie Belk. This swing looks a little wide, but it creeps in and finds part of the blue line on the far side of the court. That was number 15, Ella Willison, with her first kill of the evening. Stachura once again. Passed forward. Belk with a swing. Federley's there once again. Swing on the near side. Once again, that's Barbian. And a free one coming for the Foxes. Back to this near side. That was not a very good set. One of the very few mistakes been made so far by Jalen Stadler. Good start for her and a good start for the Foxes, but that one just a little too hefty. That's a good serve from Johnson. Finally, the Vikes able to get Omro out of a good offense. Here comes Nell once again, tips over the block. That was a little too close on the set from Kuski. Another free one for the Vikes. Kuski, far side, Supernan, off the block and down. That's Ella Willison, her second kill in 3 points. 18-10. And Omro very much in control of this first set. Vikings lost the first set to Shiocton relatively big as well, and were able to respond well in the second set. They're going to need that here. Another one from Supernan into the net. And the lead is 9. Here's another chance for Kuski. Middle, Nell tips it over. That's easily dealt with by Omro. Willison, far side, that's in. Vikes put their hands on their head. I'm not really sure why. I don't think they could have thought that was out. It was substantially in for Willison. And what was seemingly a few minutes ago a 3-point lead has ballooned to 10. Nell has to give a free one to the Foxes. Stachura, that's into the net, and maybe that's what the Vikings needed. It was Tabitha Kilgus with an opportunity to get a swing, and she wasn't able to make good on it. Sends Lindsay Nell to the service line, trying to chip into a 9-point advantage for the Foxes. That won't help. Another service error for the Vikings, and that's 4 in the first set. If you don't pass and don't serve well, going to make it tough on yourselves. That's what the Vikes have done here in this first set. Back to the service line. That's Mackenzie Decker in for the first time for the Foxes. Here's Supernan with the swing. Setterly, and it's over. Here's a chance for Chemnitz, and she puts it away. Peyton Chemnitz, second kill of the night. If you overpass it to the middle, Chemnitz is probably going to make you pay. She did there. 21-12. Keel will return. She'll replace Siri Kuski. That'll make Supernan the setter for now for the Vikings. As Shea goes back to the service line, that's well deep. And service error number 5. So you throw everything else out. Omro has played a nice first set. But you throw everything else out, and you've given away 5 points on service errors. It's a problem. Here's Supernan trying to go back to Chemnitz. Chemnitz off balance, able to get it over. That is dropped in expertly from Tabitha Kilgus. I'll tell you what, Jalen Stadler, I think, has made one mistake in this first set. She's the setter for the Foxes and has done a terrific job. That's high, should be tipped over. Yeah, good decision there from Supernan, but what dealt with well by the Foxes. Vikes are able to block Stachura, who is into the net, and a point for the Vikings. 23-13, still a 10-point lead. Biggest lead for the Foxes in this set was 11 just a moment ago. Supernan with the jump serve. That's a good one. Still, though, Foxes able to get into their offense. Supernan a little far back, off the block from Johnson. Shea able to get to that one and save it. Chance for the Vikings. And the Foxes can't deal with it. So the hustle from a couple of different Vikings. First Supernan, then Johnson, then off of the block, Kiera Shea. And the Vikes earn a point. 23-14. Another good one from Supernan. Overpass. Supernan, middle. Chemnitz can't get there. Got to make them pay if they pass it over like that. A good serve from Avery Supernan, kind of wasted there as the Vikes not able to take advantage. In fact, on the overpass, not able to get the ball back over to Omro at all. Supernan goes far side. Amber Johnson off the tape, and that's dug out well for the Foxes. Over to the near side, Stachura off the block of Keel. Another chance for Stachura. That's well long. 24-15. Vikes have to go on some sort of magical run to salvage this first set. And the first match we called in the spring was Waupun. That's into the net from Stachura. So a couple of errors in a row, hitting errors from Stachura, will give the Vikes, well, some life. But again, going to need to do something special. Chemnitz got to at least put it in play. That's an overpass from the Foxes. And Amber Johnson was there, battling at the net, making Omro pay. We're friendly with the statistics, so we'll give Amber Johnson one there. That was close to an overpass as well. Stachura with the swing. Supernand back to Johnson. Little out of sync now, the Foxes. Here's Supernand, near side, Keel. This is better from Omro. Stachura, swing, blocked by Keel once again. Keel's done a nice job on the block. That's deep, but they're going to say into the net were the Vikings. I'm not sure who it was. Number 9, they're going to say Morgan Keel into the net. It certainly was close. Didn't look like the net moved a whole ton. But that'll be the first set, 25-17. And they'll put 3 minutes on the clock. Just to give you an update about cross country, as I said, they were racing tonight up in Valley Christian School. 3rd place finish for the girls and a 4th place finish for the boys at Valley Christian School. So girls cross country team has put together a couple of top 3 finishes so far this season. 2nd down at Kettle and 3rd up at Valley Christian School. And for the boys, improving on a 5th place finish at Kettle with a 4th place finish tonight. Again, we got soccer playing tonight at Lamira, trying to get off the proverbial, get off the no-win train. They're 0-3 on the season. Tough schedule so far. Talking about West Bend West, which is a huge school. Sheboygan Christian Lutheran has been at state several times in the past couple of years, and Oostburg certainly looks like a team that could challenge come postseason. And the Vikes hoping they can do the same thing as well. We'll try to get you an update from down in Lamira when we are able. 25-17 after the first set. Omro gets the first one. You know, back in the spring season, you never know how important momentum might be for a team. You talk about an early trip to Mayville for the Vikings where they didn't play particularly well, didn't pass well at all, and lost in 4 sets to the Mayville Cardinals, and then come home and the first one we were able to broadcast last spring was against Waupun. You had Waupun, Ripon, and Campbellsport join the conference for the alternate fall season. And Waupun traditionally has a very good volleyball program. And the Vikes were up 2-0 in that one. Looking like they were going to cruise to a very impressive statement type of win early in their alternate fall season. They ended up losing the final 3 sets, dropping it in 5. And it just seemed that they couldn't get any momentum, no wind in their sails, and that carried through the first half of the season. Another inflection point, though, was later on in the season. They played Ripon, and the Vikes only had a couple of wins to that point in the year, and down 2-0, and in the 3rd set, down 24-20. They stormed all the way back to win the final 3 sets, so able to kind of turn around that Waupun debacle with a 3-2 win over Ripon. And then from that point on, after that win, their only 2 losses on on the rest of the season were to Springs. And you look back at the Flyway Conference in the spring, it was extremely strong. You had Laconia, who was the #1 ranked team most of the year. They lost a sectional final, 5-set thriller to Broadhead. And then Springs, as I said, a state qualifier. They lost to Washburn in the state semifinal. So you're talking about one of the stronger conferences, certainly in the alternate fall season. So be interesting to see. You know, momentum does change things in a season. And you just wonder how that might have affected last season, the Vikings in the spring, and how that might affect them this year. Already 3-3, they've tasted some success this season. And you would imagine that helped them going forward. Just about ready to go here in the second set. Just take care of the liberos. It'll be Siri Kuski to lead things off here in the second set from the service line for the Vikings. Best hitters for the Vikings so far outside of Milena Dins, who again missing tonight due to injury. 161 for Peyton Chemnitz, 141 for Lindsay Nell, 130 for Amber Johnson. Hitting percentages for the Vikings. So we got the substitution in for Omro, Hannah Federley, who's the libero, and Kira Shea for Chemnitz. We're ready to roll here in the second set. Jordan King along with you here on WLA-TV. Kuski able to get her first serve of three, in play. Satura able to get it across over the block. Free overpass from Lindsay Nell. And a chance here for the Vikings after an overpass from the Foxes. Here's Stachura. She's the go-to, you can tell early on in this one for the Foxes. She may not hit the court with every swing, but she certainly looks to be the attacking threat they want to go to. Here's Stachura again, that's off the block. Dealt with better this time. Somewhat free ball coming for the Vikings. Not dealt with too well. And the Foxes will get back into their offense. Stachura again, tipped by Belk. And it's got to go over from Shea. That one's going to be tight. Not a great pass from the Foxes. Gets over to Stachura. She's going to just have to pass it across. Middle, set, Nell, over the block. That was a carry. Certainly looked like it. There's the call. Lift for the Foxes, and a good start behind the serving of Siri Kuski. The Vikes lead it 2-0 early. Kuski tries it again. Here's Stachura. That's a better swing from her. Over the block. Dug out by Shea. Passed and over by Nell. Here's Stachura once again. Tipped that time. Johnson digs it out. Back set from Kuski to Natalie Belk. And this is better in terms of passing from the Vikings. That's into the block from Nell. Back to Stachura, near side. Swing deep. 3-0 Vikings. So far, all three Vikings points have come off of misses from Stachura. But I think if you're Omro, you'll take that, especially how dangerous she was in the first set. That from Kuski, a little too aggressive and into the net. So the first points for the Foxes here in the second set. They lead it 1-0. It was 25-17 if you're just joining us. Glad to have you along. Here's the jump serve. That's an overpass from Supernand. Another overpass from the Vikings. And Nell not able to deal with that one. So a couple of mistakes from the Vikes. Again, got to be able to deal with the easy ones. Not saying that serve was easy from Jalen Stadler. Stadler is the setter for the Omro Foxes. There's a service error from her. Chemnitz back in. On the floor for the Vikings, Johnson, Supernand, Kuski, Nell, Chemnitz, Belk. Stachura on the far side this time. Here's Kuski. Looks far side to Chemnitz. Chemnitz able to get a swing. Dug out by the Foxes. Here's Stachura all the way on the other side of the floor. Chemnitz passes it, and a free one coming for the Foxes. Back set. Tipped. Battle at the net, and it's won by Peyton Chemnitz, her third kill. And she was given up. She was given up a few inches there at the net. Ella Willison, 6'4". Peyton Chemnitz, 5'7". Battle won by Chemnitz. 5-2 lead for the Vikes here in this second set. Timeout for the Vikings, and we'll be back in just a minute. You're watching WLA Athletics on WLA TV. It'll be Amber Johnson to get things going once again here in the second set. The Vikes lead by 3. Good start here to the second set. And that's not the best pass there. Dealt with by Supernand. Avery Supernand meets the overpass from Hannah Federley, who's done a nice job at the libero position for the Foxes. Kira Shea back in. Johnson with a nice serve, tipped over once again from Stachera. Shea, that one's close, tipped over by Belk. Nice job by Natalie Belk. And that's just a little wayward on the set from Stadler. Gives another point to the Vikings. This is exactly the response you wanted if you're WLA. The response they saw on Tuesday as well when they were up in Shiocton. Lost big, double digits or thereabouts in the first set to Shiocton. That's out. Just a little bit long on the swing there for the Foxes. Shea would have been there to deal with it, I think, had it not gone out, but she saw it safely off the end line. That's a good one from Johnson. Dealt with well by Federley. Tipped by Stachera. And they're going to say Stachera was into the net, so a point for the Vikings, 9-2. I think that might have been what happened. Maybe it was her foot across the line, perhaps, that caused Supernand to go tumbling. But getting back to the story over in Shiocton, as Johnson serves in for the net for the 6th service error of the evening for the Vikings. 7th, check that. The Vikings lost the first set by quite a margin against Shiocton, able to come back in the second set and kind of reverse it. Dominated the second set, and if they can continue this, they might be on a similar path here tonight. Tipped over from Supernand. Stadler. Willison across. Kuski back set. Belk off her back foot. Federley to Stadler. Stadler near side. Swing is into the net from Grayson Barbian. And the Vikes the first to 10 here in the second set. They lead at 10-3. Shea out. Chemnitz in. Nell to the service line. In a conversation there, Jalen Stadler, I would assume, is one of the captains for Omro. Just a conversation with the referee. She's going to back set Will Stadler. That looks deep. It is deep from Adrian Malnori. And the Vikings are rolling here in the second set. And Lindsay Nell will try to keep that going from the service line. Nell with the jump serve. There's the pass. Almost looked like a pass across, too. Chemnitz did not hit that one well. Federley. There's Willison. That one loops over. Chance here for the Vikings. Looking for Supernand. That's in. What a swing from Avery Supernand. She's had a couple unlucky ones go into the net. and not creep over. That was hammered cross court, and a point for the Vikings. 12-3, they lead by 9. Back in 60 seconds on WLA TV. So the Vikes force a Foxes timeout. Huge swing from Avery Supernan to get that point for the Vikings. And now will continue from the service line. The Vikes have been terrific in the second set. After losing the first set, not passing real well. That was out. Yeah, that was out on the near side. And the referee looked at the linesman who said, "I can't see through your tower." But I think that was obvious enough. Now once again into the net. You never like a service error, but it's more palatable when it comes after about 5 straight points that you win. Here's Federley. That just hits the tape and trickles over. Unfortunate for the Vikings. And Willison tipped it off of the fingertips of Chemnitz out of bounds. Federley once again. Another good one. This is not dealt with well by the Vikings. Chemnitz has to pass it over. Chance here for Stadler. Good swing there. Chemnitz dug up by, I think that's Stachira down there that got her hands on it. Chemnitz once again from Kuski, tipped. Stadler, and this is way deep from Federley. Federley looked like she was almost caught between two minds there. Not sure whether to give it a go with the attack or to just pass it over. She went with the attack and kind of looped it across. Still a 9-point lead for the Vikings as Kira Shea back in to serve. Oh, that's a terrific set and a nice swing from Tabitha Kilgus. Gets the Foxes back on the scoring trail. 14-6. Mackenzie Decker in to serve for the Foxes. It's a good one to the far side. Supernand. Chemnitz went one way, Supernand set to the other. Good recovery by Chemnitz. And that's a long swing from Barbian. Another point for the Vikes. Avery Supernand will trot back, ready to serve for WLA. Jump serve from her. That's a good one. And Foxes deep on the swing. 16-6. This was certainly the response Coach Recker could have been hoping for. Maybe better than the one he could have been hoping for. That's an overpass. Chemnitz in. Her 4th kill of the night. And a reminder that any statistic that I say is very, very unofficial. Except for the season-long ones. I trust assistant coach Miss Steffen. I trust her statistics that she gave me or Coach Recker gave me before the game. Another service error for the Vikings as Supernand goes wide with that one. And into the game is Ashley Callis to serve for the Foxes. Supernand. Johnson, you bet. Amber Johnson's 3rd kill of the night sees the Vikes retake a 10-point lead. Johnson has been terrific receiving as well. for the Vikings. Here's Stachura. Supernan. Johnson's not going to get a swing at this one, but she keeps it in place. Stachura able to pass it federally. That's better. That was not great from Johnson. Dealt with by Supernan. Johnson into the block. Vikes stay alive. It's going to have to go over from Nell. She's able to do so federally. And a chance. Good swing. No, into the net. Number 10. Into the net. Tabitha Kilgus. It was a good swing from Kilgus as well. Vikes with their biggest lead of this set, 19-7. There's a chance on the far side, tipped over, in, and that was needed, and it's Tabitha Kilgus. 5'10" senior, able to get a point and stymie some of the momentum from the Vikings, at least for the time being. I was going to point out, can't find where I had it marked, but Amber Johnson, one of the better defensive players as well for the Vikings. Good passer. One of the better teams, one of the better players on the team in terms of digs. Here's Supernan, near side, Keel. This is into the net. And a little momentum here for the Foxes. And if you're the Vikings, you don't want to give too much of this because that's how WLA ended that first set. WLA really wasn't close in the first set, but they did end it well. And you'd like to think that's part of the reason that they're playing so well here in the second set. There's a service error from the Foxes, and WLA is just 5 points away. Still a double-digit lead, and their best server, Siri Kuski, back to the service line. Kuski, that's a good one. And a little miscommunication. Here's Stachura, not able to pass it over. Little out of sorts were the Foxes there on a good serve from Siri Kuski. Stadler not quite able to get there. And Kuski will once again go. This looks deep, but oh man, I'm a long way away. It looked like it might have caught a piece of the blue line, but it's not. It's out. And there is service error number 10 for the Vikes. From one setter to another, here's Jalen Stadler. That's a good one. Dealt with by Supernan. And Belk gets a swing. Stadler looks to the near side, Stachura. Good one. Dug up, though, by the Vikings. That was Shea with the dig. Johnson with the swing. And chance here. Finished by Lindsay Nell. Good swing by Lindsay Nell. And the Vikes closing in on a second set win to even this thing up. That would be welcomed. Here's Johnson. Good swing there. Johnson was calling out for it. Shea went and received it anyways. That's all right. You have the cushion to deal with that. Kira Shea thought it was going to stay in. Johnson with a late out call, and Shea couldn't quite pull her arms back quick enough. Here's Stachura from the service line. It's into the net. Well, I suppose it's only fair if that happens a couple of times for the Vikings, that the tape helps them. Seems like so far tonight the tape has hindered the Vikings more than it's helped them. Here's a chance for Nell. They went on a long run. That's a good one from Lindsay Nell with the ace. They went on a long run here in this third set, or second set, pardon me, with Nell at the service line early on in the set to really separate themselves. So here's set point. Vikes have doubled up the Foxes so far. That's deep, and the Vikes have evened it up, 25-12 in the second set. That's a big one for the Vikings, an appropriate response, and you got to give them a ton of credit to bounce back in that second set in the fashion that they did. Should give them some confidence heading to the third set. Let's talk some football. WLA 1-1 this year, 20 14 loss to KML in that Week 1 contest, and they dealt with some untimely turnovers in that one. Then this past weekend, started a game on Friday, had to finish it on Saturday morning, but it led to a 13-6 win over Chilton. A couple of Ethan Cole touchdowns in that one, and the Vikes got back to 500. Game tomorrow night, 7 p.m., as I mentioned, home against North Fondy. And the Vikes trying to put together what is called a winning streak, right? That's when you win more than one in a row. And a chance for them to do that tomorrow. Open up Flyway play with a good result, hopefully. And always nice to open it up at home. Friendly confines of Viking Field tomorrow night. If we had a camera, we would carry it here on WLA TV, but we don't. So we'll stick to the volleyball for now. Hopefully at some point we can bring you some football games down the stretch run of the season. We'll have basketball. We'll have wrestling. Anything that's here in the gym, we will certainly carry here on WLA TV. And we're glad to have you along. Vikings, Foxes, tied at a set apiece. Third set on the way. You're watching WLA Athletics on WLA TV. Stay with us. Getting ready to roll here in this third set, tied up 1-1 between the Vikings and the Foxes of Omro. Starting off Flyway Conference play. Jalen Stadler, the setter, had a nice night so far for the Omro Foxes, and just as I say that, Stadler puts one into the net. So the Vikings responded well in that second set after pretty much taking it on the chin in that first set, turning it around and doing the same to the Foxes in the second. Here's a chance for the Vikings. It's Nell. Stachura on this near side. She's gotten a ton of swings tonight for the Foxes, and that one's into the net. Kuski last season went on several double-digit runs by herself from the service line. And I say by herself. She was at the service line the whole time. Obviously, she didn't have 10 straight aces. But the Vikings last year certainly found a lot of success when she was serving the volleyball. And tonight, that's been a big part for her and the Vikings as well. Now into the net there. And it'll go back over to the Foxes, and Stachura will get her first chance to serve here in the third set. Chemnitz off and Shea on for the Vikes. That one from Supernand she just about does enough. Shea and Nell will get it across the net. Chance here, Kuski, Shea, far side, Johnson. Standing attack for her. Back to this near side. Dug up by Shea. Kuski looks far side, Johnson. And that's out. Oh man, it hung on the tape for what seemed like forever. And just trickled off into Amber Johnson's relief. It was out of bounds. 3-1 for the Vikings, and Johnson then sprints back to the service line. That's a good one from Stadler, but not a great swing for the Foxes. Here's Federle, and it's a back row swing from Statura that would not quite fall. 4-1, that one just about 14 inches too far. This is not a good one from Johnson. That one was closer to the bottom tape than the top tape, but that happens. Next play, as they say. Focus on the next one. Go get the next one. Hannah Federle. Shea digs it up. Back set from Kuski. It's a little far away from the net, so it's an overpass for the Vikings. Federle overpass to Nell. Oh, that's dug out well. And that was Stadler. Now that ended up not being a point for the Foxes, but that was hammered down by Lindsay Nell, and Stadler was able to dig it up. Incredible job from her, and just no one there to help her out. Wearing that maroon color. Timeout for Omro. Don't want to let this one get as far away as the second set got. So they'll take their timeout. Back in 30 on WLA TV. Well, we'll get you an update from soccer. They're actually live streaming that on the Lamira School Activities YouTube page if you want to jump over there. I'd recommend staying here. We got a good one between the Foxes and the Vikings here on the hardwood between these two volleyball teams. That's tipped over there by Barbian. Kuski looks back to Supernand over the block. And down, little off-speed action from Avery Supernand, her third kill by my count. But the Vikings soccer team winning 2-0 over the Lions. So trying to get that first win on the season as Nell puts that one into the net. Service error number 12 for the Vikings by my count. Just starting the second half are the Lions and the Vikings down on the turf in Lamira. Here's Supernand, far side swing. That's a good one. And it found a good spot on the far side of the court. And the Vikings trying to do what they did in the second set and put some distance between them and the Foxes here in the third. Shea back in, as is Keel. Shea'll serve. Knuckler across the net. That's very close to the net. Somehow over by the Foxes. Oh, good spot, Kiera Shea. Normally she doesn't get into the action on offense, but that was just a pass across that found the soft spot in the defense. 8-3. What a play. Near side. There's Barbian off the block and down. Grayson Barbian for the Foxes. Keep them within shouting distance here. It's 8-4 in the third set. Nell, Supernand. Keel, that was a pretty good swing for Keel, all things considered. It was behind her. She had to keep her feet on the ground, and Stachura with another one that goes long. But that was a difficult swing for Morgan Keel, and she put Omro off balance on that far side. Here's Stachura. That's a good swing into the block and down. Peyton Chemnitz with another block. Either Chemnitz or Keel. I mean, you take a pick. But the Vikings starting to frustrate Stachura maybe a little bit. And she's going to take a breather. Another good one from Supernand. Here's Barbian into the net. It's going to be over for the Vikings. Out to Johnson from Supernand. Johnson down. And the Vikings offense starting to roll a little bit. And we once again out to a 7-point lead are the Vikes. Once again talking momentum here in this one. And Supernand trying to keep hold of that from the service line. A couple of dribbles from her. The jump serve, another good one. This one is dealt with by Federle. Battle at the net, won by Peyton Chemnitz. Stadler went up for it. And Stadler only 5'5", Chemnitz 5'7". Long arms as well and able to just deny it. That's long from Supernand. Again, when those errors happen, a little easier to stomach them after you score 4 or 5 points, and I think that was 4 straight on the serve from Avery Supernand. That was down from Stachura. She's right back into the match and making an impact for the Foxes. 2 hands on that one, and almost looked like a basketball block or almost a slam dunk. That's out of bounds. And not what you're looking for after getting the side out is giving it right back. And that's what Omro just did. 13-6. 7-point lead for the Vikes, which matches their largest here in this third set. Federle, overpass. Nell. That's a tough one to get to. Federle gets there. Stachura able to get it over. Chance here. Little off speed from Lindsay Nell. Gets that one to go. Nell's third kill. I think Supernand went right over there and said sorry about that one. Little miscommunication, a little mistimed from both of them. Oh, that's a good one from Chemnitz. And that's an ace. Second of the night for the Vikings. And all of the Foxes were on their back heel. And she went off speed and it worked. Stachura digs that one out. She's going to get it back here from Stadler. Off the block and down for Ava Stachura. And she has 2 kills in the last 3 points. 15-7. Vikes still with the 8-point lead. Stadler back to the service line. She's the best server for the Foxes, and that's probably the first bad pass we've seen from Kira Shea. Normally so reliable back there at the libero position. Not that time. Johnson, overhand pass there, into the block as she got it back from Supernand, but Ella Willison was able to hammer it right back down on the Viking logo on the Viking side of the court. Another chance here for the Vikings. Going back and miscommunication. Nell was standing there. Shea thought about a back row swing, and neither one of them hit the ball with any sort of integrity. That's into the net. And the Vikings probably needed that one. That was a nice little run that Omro went on, led by Jalen Stadler, as most has been done tonight for the Foxes. Stadler, nice setter for the Foxes. And also from the service line. That's a good run from Kuski. Barely gets over the tape. Back row swing. That's in. That is so good from Hannah Federle. as far away from the net as she was, and I mean, you could maybe question the defense of the Vikings, perhaps. But I'd say all things considered, that's just a great play. You tip your cap, and that's what it was from Federle. Belk has to pass it, back row swing, and it just gets over the tape, tipped, and down for Peyton Chemnitz. I got Chemnitz down for 7 kills. Maybe that's a little bit rich, not sure. That's deep. Adrian Malnori, who hasn't really gotten things going for the Foxes tonight, has that one long. Amber Johnson remains at the service line. Another good one from her. This is better, though. Actual offense that time from the Foxes. Here's Johnson. Back row swing. Chance here. But I believe it was tipped. Yes, it was. I thought I maybe heard something there. It was Grayson Barbian who had the attack off of the block, just tipped there by either Natalie Belk or Lindsay Nell. And Federle will continue serving. Far side. Oh, that's smart from Supernan to tip it over the block. But behind it was the Foxes' defense. They're starting to get back into some offensive rhythm. And it's back to being a 5-point margin for the Vikings. A lot of this coming off of the right arm of Hannah Federle. And right as I say that, she misses on the far side of the court. It's kind of a unique delivery. She almost stands perpendicular to the court, almost like nothing you usually see from a volleyball player, but it's an effective serve. Here's Willison. Vikes deal with it. Chance for Chemnitz. And it's out. I thought the Omro coach, you'd have to look on the replay. You guys have it, I don't. You could rewind about 15 seconds. I thought the Omro coach, Coach Pomplin, put his hand in almost like to say, yeah, that's in, but was judged to have been out. Johnson, Kuski, Chemnitz. Another one. This one's better from Peyton Chemnitz. And she records yet another kill. Belk will leave the floor. Shea back on. Shea to the service line. And the Vikes are 5 points away from turning this into 2-1 set lead. So here's a chance. Dipped, spike, Chemnitz. Yeah, I think she got a little extra on that one. I'm not really sure what the call was. I missed it. But a violation from Peyton Chemnitz. And it's back to a 5-point advantage for the Vikings. Johnson will head over and ask a question on behalf of the WLA coaching staff. Just kind of a half-hearted nod from the Vikes coaching staff. That's an overpass from Nell, and Stachura makes the Vikings pay. Now you start to sweat a little bit if you're the Vikings, as Omro has cut this thing back to a 4-point Viking advantage. Nell. Supernand. Supernand, a couple of sets tonight have just been that little extra distance away from the net, and Stachura's into the net once again with that swing. So the Vikes restore a 5-point lead, and Avery Supernand will get a chance to hopefully serve this thing out in the third set. Jump serve from her. Puts the Foxes on their back heel. That is a little wild from Stachura. And well deep. Vikes within 3 of closing out this second set, or third set, pardon me, second set win. Oh, that just hits the tape and crawls over the top. Oh, and an overpass from the Vikings. So many chances for both of these teams, and neither one really wants to take it, but it is making for a fascinating rally. That's over by Johnson. Bad pass by the Foxes. Over by Federle. Another chance in the middle for Chemnitz. Now it's looking a little bit more like volleyball. And Omro wins it. That's number 8, Villalobos. And by my count, her first kill of the night. And a big one for the Foxes. Can't get this too close to that 25-point mark before you start chipping into it if you're Omro. They trail by 5. Chance here from the service line. It's Supernan, looks for Chemnitz. Chemnitz with an over-the-head swing. That is terrific body control from Peyton Chemnitz. Her hand was almost behind her head when she swung at that one. She gets the Vikes to 23 points. And a chance, once again, to serve this third set out. Stachura returns for the Foxes. Chemnitz loops one over. Oh, tipped over. And a chance for the Vikings. Amber Johnson says, that's my fault. Looked like a pretty good pass from Supernan. Omro hanging just close enough that they could still get back into this thing. Vikes could end that in a hurry. If they're successful in the next couple of points, that's a miscommunication and not a great pass from Omro. I think that was Stadler on the pass. And as good as she's been tonight, she's really only made a couple of mistakes, but there's one. Here's Kuski, just who you want if you're the Vikings to finish this thing out. Stachura tips it over. Kuski sets far side. Johnson aims for the back corner. And Vikes going to get lucky here, as that should have been dealt with a little bit better, but the passing not great from Omro. And the Vikes win set number 3, 25-18. So after losing that first set, 25-17, ending it with a flurry of points, though, really getting the momentum going. The Vikes win the second set 25-12, and then in the third set just now, 25-18. The Vikings retake the lead in the match, 2-1. It's kind of interesting. In the non-conference, it's a race to 2 sets. At least what I've seen, as opposed to here in the Flyway Conference. You got to get to the third set, win that third set, sorry. And the Vikes will try to do that coming up next. Try to get you an update really quick here on soccer once again. See if we can pull up that Lemira Lions live stream and see if the Vikes have maybe tacked on a couple insurance goals. They were leading 2-0 just a couple of minutes ago. But we'll make sure that that's still the case. 2-0 still for the Viking soccer team as they play Lemira in their opening Flyway Conference match. Stay with us here on WLA TV. The Vikes lead at 2-1, trying to close it out in the fourth set. Coming up next, right here on WLA TV. Ready to roll here in the fourth set. Thanks for joining us this evening. Jordan King taking you through the action here on WLA TV. And the Vikings stormed back here in the second and third sets. There is a miscommunication between the Foxes on the serve receive. And Siri Kuski, after a little shaky start, she was 0 for 2. 2 service errors with her first 2 trips. And now she's humming. An ace for Kuski. That's the 4th tonight. 3rd for Kuski. 4th for the Vikings overall. And a chance to start this 4th set. You know, you start the 4th set well here, you're really going to make it difficult on Omro, who might just about feel like it's getting away from him. Battle at the net, won by Nell. That pass was a decent one from Omro. I think that was number 14, Malnori, who passed it back to the center, and then there was a battle won by Nell. Nell 5'10", middle for the Vikings, sophomore. Vikes only have 2 seniors this year. It's Peyton Chemnitz, who admittedly has probably been the Vikes' best player tonight, at least offensively she has. Somewhere around the double-digit figure mark, as that's into the net for the Foxes. I have her for 9 kills. Maybe that's too many. All stats unofficial for me, especially volleyball. Near side, Willison with a swing. Dug up by Johnson. Far side looking for Supernand off the block. And out for Avery. Supernand, her 4th kill of the night. But you look at a large chunk of this WLA team, and Chemnitz will certainly be a big loss. You lose Michaela Carey next year as well. And it's too early to be thinking about next year. But this is a team with a lot of youth. That's Federley not able to handle that. And another ace for the Vikings, their 5th tonight. Amber Johnson is a junior. Kira Shea is a junior. Natalie Belk out there, she's a junior. As is Morgan Keel, who we've seen tonight. And then 4 pretty good sophomores. And by pretty good, I mean really good. There's another one off the block from Supernand. This one dealt with, though, by the Foxes. Dug up by Shea. Chance for Kuski. Kuski sets Nell, and Nell finishes. Lindsay Nell's got 5 kills. Kuski's also a junior, by the way. That's going to force a timeout early in this 4th set, which, if it continues like this, will be the final set for the Vikings. If they can keep it rolling, they lead by 6 points. But you have 4 terrific sophomores. We know about Milena Dins, and the Vikings are a different team with Dins out there. She's their best hitter, their best server, statistically their best server, and does a lot of things very well for the Vikings. At least in ace percentage, she's their best server. I shouldn't really say. I mean, we can judge this however we want. We can do it by serving percentage. We can do it by points off of the serve. We can do it by serve aces. She's their best in terms of service aces, 33% of the time. But again, she has a little fewer chances than everyone else dealing with the injury. But this team's a better team all around with Milena Dins out there. And then another sophomore, Abby Cole, that they're missing tonight. There's another ace. And Amber Johnson continues to roll from the service line. She's been terrific, especially in these last 3 sets. Chance here for Willison. That's a good one from Willison. It's going to hit the backboard. Kira Shea decided not to take out her teammates. I wouldn't put it past Kira Shea to leap over the bench and dive for it. Coach Strafnagel on the basketball front may not like to see that, but sure would be entertaining. And Shea's got the battery to just keep going and going and going. Here's a chance, far side, Supernand into the net. Supernand, one of the only players for the Vikings, her and Johnson, that play all the way around. That's in. Supernan thought it was going to go out. Tipped off the net. Stayed in. And this is a nice little 3-0 response from Omro. 3-1 since the timeout. Stachura. That's an overpass from Supernan. Not taking advantage of. Oh, Supernan able to get her fingertips on that without going into the net. Supernan's got 5 kills now. And you think about what Supernan is asked to do. Be a big part of the offense. Set when Kuski's not out there. Be a factor from the service line, which she is. All as a sophomore. The 4 sophomores that are up on varsity for the Vikings is Omro able to get another one back there and make it 9-5. Big parts of what Coach Recker and Coach Steffen and this coaching staff is trying to do. Here's Federle once again with that really unique but very, very effective serve. Supernan into the net. But, yeah, these sophomores, I think teams in the Flyway Conference, for multiple reasons, in multiple sports, will be ready to see them graduate in a couple of years. Johnson, Kuski, far side, Supernan tip, off the block, down. Supernan, 6 kills, and gets the Vikes back up by 4. 10-6. Some of these players also big parts of looked like it was going to be a historic spring for the softball team here at WLA. Fell a little bit short in the postseason. Keel able to pass it over. Here's a chance on the near side. Free ball coming for the Vikes. Supernan, middle set, tipped over by Chemnitz. Federle gives another free one to the Vikes. Supernan back to Chemnitz. Looked like they were trying to get her on a little slide play there. Not able to do so. Back set to Shea. Shea with the swing. Chance for Willison. Dug up by Nell. Far side Keel. That's a good one. Dug up once again, that time from Barbian. Free one coming for the Vikes. Up to Supernan. Oh, she tips it. Didn't quite catch Stadler out, but another free one for the Vikings. That's an overpass from Nell. Tipped up Stadler. Willison. Quite the rally going here. Far side. And Keel can't get it to go. That was a good one from both sides. And a chance fell to the junior Morgan Keel. She couldn't make good with it. 10-7. Man, was that a fun softball team. Going back to the softball team in the spring, that was a fun team to watch. Speed all over the place, enough power to make you pay, and a great defensive team as well. Good pitching in the circle, too. Audrey Schumacher. There's a good swing from Peyton Chemnitz. Chemnitz, speaking of a nice spring, she went to state, qualified for state track and field. Good time to be a Lady Viking fan, that's for sure. Here's a free one. Shea, Supernan, Chemnitz. Oh, that's a good swing. Peyton Chemnitz is up to 11 kills. And that was hammered to the far side of the court. Well, why don't you just do that every time, huh? If it were only that easy, right? Easy for me to say it up here. Free one coming for the Vikes. Nell, Supernan, far side. Johnson off the block and down. Amber Johnson has 5. When the Vikings offense has been in sync tonight, it has been a work of art. Supernan, jump serve. That's deep. But the Vikes have started these last 3 sets in the way that you would expect them to, the way you want them to. I think the trick for this team is going to be, let's start that first set like we did the rest of them. Shea goes far side, Johnson with a swing. Dug up, chance for Omro, into the net. That's Malnori, who couldn't quite get it to creep over the tape. Peyton Chemnitz will head back to the service line with a 6-point advantage. Couple of dribbles for Chemnitz. And an ace. The Vikes are rolling. 15-8. After looking pretty out of sorts in that first set, this has been everything you could have wished for as a Vikings fan to open up conference play. Supernan, I think that was a double hit. Yeah. She was falling backwards. The pass was good enough that she probably could have dealt with it, but certainly you'd like to give your setter a little less to do than that. Chemnitz. Supernand. Oh, that is a good one. Another off-speed. Amber Johnson, if you couldn't see on the stream, the look on her face was, we'll take it. I maybe got away with one there. Certainly didn't catch it how she meant to catch it, but you don't apologize when it ends up in a point for your team. 7-point advantage for the Vikes. Here comes Kuski, their best server. Near side, Stachura. Good swing there, dug up by Chemnitz. It's overpassed. And Villalobos makes the Vikings pay. Chemnitz will take a seat. She had a good little stretch there for the Vikings, did Peyton Chemnitz. So Kiera Shea back in. Doug from Supernan. Back in to set is Kuski. That's a good swing. I thought it was a touch, but it was not. Johnson kind of turned around too. Thought that maybe that might have gotten tipped at the net. It was not. Another point for Omro as they creep back into this thing, now trailing by just 5. Shea, Kuski, far side, Belk. Couldn't connect with that one. Vikings started this set extremely well, and just inching their way back into it are the Foxes. And a nice serve there. No, just a little bit wide. Once again, that was Stadler. And it looked like a good one, but Vikings saw it was out the whole way and left it go. Johnson, far side, Stadler, tipped over by Willison. Johnson allowed to call it. Nell will get it over. Stadler, back set to Willison. Dug out by Shea. Middle set, Lindsay Nell, off the block, and another one for Lindsay Nell. Give her her 6th kill of the night, 18-12. Every time here in this third set, Omro's gotten back within a couple. The Vikes have just pushed them back away, and Stachura with an error there on the reception. Another ace for the Vikings. I got him down for 8. Should have been counting Amber Johnson's. She's had several of them. I know Kuski has 3. Here's Willison. Dug out by Shea. Up by Kuski, off the block and down for Lindsay Nell. She's got 7 kills. And the Vikes are just 5 points away. Timeout from Omro. They need something special if they're going to keep this alive and force a 5th and final set. But it looks like this 4th set might just about be it. Back in 30, you're watching WLA Volleyball on WLA TV. Resuming here in the fourth set where the Vikings lead 2-1 and another ace. Well, just in the last couple of minutes, there's been 2 for Amber Johnson, so she's got either 3 or 4 on the night. Talking about aces. Chance here, Federle. Set up, Willison with a swing. Dug out by Shea, chance for Supernan far side. Into the net, she kind of rolls her eyes. And Ava Stachura will head to the service line for Omro. And Stachura, that one just kind of spun off the right hand. And the Vikes are up to 22. 3 points away from finishing this thing off. Lindsay now. Dug up by Federle. Near side swing. Kept alive by Kuski as she goes into the crowd. Over by the Vikings. Willison far side. And that one Lindsay now could not deal with. Great hustle by Siri Kuski to keep that alive, but nice focus from the Foxes to do their job on the other side as well. Oh, that tipped on the way over. Still dealt with by Amber Johnson. Far side, off speed from Supernand. Here's a nearsided swing. That looked like it was outside the wire, and it was from Barbian. And the Vikes are right there. Couple of points. Kiera Shea back in, and she'll try to serve it out for the Vikings. That's a tough one to deal with. Stachura does so, though. Here's Barbian. Tips it. Off speed. Nice play. Through, obviously, that first set, and then there have been flashes here in the following sets from Omro, but just not able to put it together like they were in that first frame. 23-15. Dug up by Nell. Supernand finds, that was Keel on the swing on the far side. Near side off the block. Keel keeps it alive, and the Vikings on a sprawling Peyton Chemnitz pass, able to keep it alive. Chemnitz touched the net there. Vikings doing a terrific job from a hustle standpoint. But you got to credit Omro. They're staying alive here. 23-16. Again, you got to get a couple more points here. You got to feel like, well, if you send it to 24, it's going to be really tough to come back from. It's already going to be tough. Chemnitz. Back row swing from Nell. Decent. Here's a chance. Middle set for the Foxes this time. Avery Supernan. Middle set. Chemnitz is out. Deep on that swing. Good idea. But still, the chances are coming for Omro. Another right back to Chemnitz goes Supernand, and she's rewarded for it. No hesitation there from Avery Supernand to go straight back to the senior. And Chemnitz, like her jersey number, has 12 unofficial kills. Highly unofficial. And this is match point. Supernand jump serve, looks deep, it's not! How to end it with an ace. That's how you do it. Avery Supernand. Caught just a piece, that's all you need. And with the 10th team ace, the Vikings clinch a Flyway Conference win. They move to 4-3 on the season. We'll add up a few stats and get you a final update on what happened elsewhere in WLA athletics tonight. But it's 25-17 in this final set. I had Avery Supernand, all of these stats unofficial. Avery Supernand, 7 kills, 5 for Amber Johnson. 7 for Lindsay Nell, 1 for Kiera Shea. I'm sure I missed others along the way. Keel had a couple for Belk. Peyton Chemnitz led the team with 12. Vikes with 10 aces, 14 service errors by my count. Leaders on the other side, Ava Stachero with 4 kills. Ella Willison with 5 kills. Very nice night for setter Jalen Stadler as well. Scoring went like this. First set 25-17. Omro jumped out all over the Vikings. But the Vikings scored about 5 or 6 points late in that first set to kind of re-grab some of the momentum. They were able to do that and parlay it into a 25-12 second set drubbing of the Foxes. And that allowed them back into the match. And once it was level, you thought the Vikings might just have enough of that momentum to carry it on through. They won set 3, 25-18, and then in this final set, 25-17 to get the 3-1 Flyway Conference win. As I said, 1-0 in the Flyway. That'll perch them right up there at the top. They're 4-3 on the season, back over 500. And upcoming next week, Tuesday, September 7th, they'll play right here at WLA against Berlin. We'll carry that if we can. We'll have it on WLA TV no matter what. I hope I can be there to describe the action to you as well. We'll do what we can. Thursday, September 9th, they play at Mayville for their next Flyway Conference match. So, chance for the Vikings to continue up next week. That'll do it for them in action this week as well. But you can find other WLA athletics this week. Tonight, in Lamira, the soccer team got its first conference game, so first conference win. They're 1-0 in the Flyway Conference. 1-3 overall on the season. Football 1-1 on the year. Tomorrow they'll host North Fondy, and we'll see how they're able to do against the Orioles. See if they can find themselves a winning streak as well. Not sure the status of several players of that game tomorrow, but certainly the Vikes will have a shot when all things are said and done. Great game for the Vikes here tonight. Everyone you expect to contribute contributed. Vikes, a couple of players down as well, a couple of key players, a couple of starters down, and still able to get the 3-1 win over the Omro Foxes. Want to say thanks for joining us. Say so long this evening. I'm Jordan King, and what a night it was for the Vikings here on their home debut of the 2021 season. They win it 3-1, 25-17 Omro, and then in straight sets, 25-12, 25-18, 25-17, the Vikings able to take care of business. 4-3 on the season and 1-0 in the Flyway Conference. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching WLA Volleyball on WLA TV.